Well, we are back in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and in this episode, I am headed out to backpack in to the mouth of a river and camp out overnight to do some surf fishing for coho salmon and steelhead. The goal of this adventure is to do some fishing, enjoy some beautiful scenery, and have a fresh salmon meal over our campfire. Hope you enjoy. Boy, I don't know if we're even gonna be able to get back here. There's still a lot of snow. It's gonna be a big gamble. All right, buddy, come on, let's go get him. Well, look at this, guys. Look at this beautiful morning. The sun is probably just starting to rise up over Lake Superior, and I can already hear the lake roaring off in the distance. So it might be a little rough and rowdy out there this morning, but that should be good for the fishing, hopefully. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. At first, he wasn't a big fan of this coat, but now that he knows it keeps him warm, he's all about it. And look at this. I spent quality time handcrafting about 50 spawn bags last night that we're gonna use for bait this morning. We're locked and loaded. Well, I'll tell you what, I have a good sweat worked up. You hear the squirrels, the sounds of nature. We're getting close. I can hear the waves a little bit louder. We're not far. Woo, baby. Wow. Wow. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful setting, man. I am so excited to be here. This is gorgeous. Look at this beautiful little stream flowing down. Let's get some lines out. Okay, well, we are going to start right here. I'm gonna get my rod holder staked in. I'm gonna get some spawn bags on, and we're gonna cast them out into the big lake this morning. Okay, here we go. First line of the morning. Oh, that was a kick in the... Well, when you're surf fishing the Great Lakes, you have to be able to know how to read the water, similar to having to read a river. Now, every year, as the ice forms on the shoreline, it's gonna carve out different troughs in the sand. And when I got here this morning, I noticed that the waves were cresting. They were turning into white caps about 100 yards offshore. And now when you see this, you know that there's a sandbar out there. There's an inside trough that's probably about 4 or 5 feet deep, and then there's a real shallow sandbar. And since we have some good rollers coming in, I'm not able to wade through the first trough to get my baits out over that next sandbar. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go scout out several other river mouths the rest of the day and try to find one where that outer sandbar is closer to the shore. And this will change every single year. A spot that was good last year, which is the case here, might not be good this year, just because those troughs are set up differently. All right, well, this looks perfect. Big waves are coming all the way to the shoreline. They're not big anymore, but they're still pretty good size, and they're coming all the way to the shore. So that means that there's no sandbar out there breaking them, and there's deep water close to shore here. So hopefully this spot will be productive. Guys, I just had a bite on this rod. Fish on, baby. There's a fish on, baby. We got one on, baby. It's head shaking. Oh yeah. It's running at me, guys. It's running at me. Holy smokes, this fish is just flying at me right now. Oh, I can't even reel fast enough, man. There we go. Coming up in the waves. Coming up in the waves. This fish is dinner right here, guys. It's not huge, but it'll definitely eat. There we go. Nice coho. Nice coho, guys. Beautiful coho salmon. This is my favorite fish to eat in the Great Lakes, without a doubt. And we have one to cook over the fire tonight. Okay, we're gonna make a little ice box here for our fish. I bled them out really well, and look at that, a coho coffin. One down. Let's get another one. We need one more for dinner tonight. One more. Oh guys, this rod's getting hit. We got a fish on, baby. There we go. There we go, baby. Oh, it's decent fish, decent fish. That's a decent fish there. Oh yeah, we're locked. This might be a steely or it's a big coho. Take and drag, bait. Oh, he's ripping. Here we go, gonna bring him up in the waves, guys. I don't want him to chafe me off in the turbulence here. I don't know what this fish is. I have no idea what, oh, it's a steely. It's a steely, guys. It's a steely. There we go, nice buck steely, guys. Look at that. Beautiful male, but man, is that awesome. And I'm gonna release this fish since I already have a coho for dinner tonight. But that was a fun fight, and it feels good to have some fish on the bank. The waves are getting bigger and bigger. There's some big dogs coming. We gotta get it out there. Yeah! Holy moly! There's a big boy! Woo! There's another big boy! Yeah, baby! Well, when I first got out here, the waves weren't too big, and I was able to wade out far enough and cast out past the drop-off, which is the zone that you want to be in. That's right where I caught those first two fish. But shortly after I landed that steelhead, the wind kicked up just a little bit more, and the waves are bigger, and I'm not able to wade out as far, and I'm having a hard time casting it out far enough. So we're just gonna hope for the best, but at least we got a couple fish. Well, look at this piece of driftwood here. This is gonna make for a perfect cutting board later to flay our salmon on. Now that is a stack of firewood. I wanted to make sure that I gathered enough firewood while it was warm and nice so we would have enough wood to cook on tonight and to cook our breakfast on first thing tomorrow morning. Well, I'm gonna take our handy dandy cutting board here and I'm gonna use this to rake the sand. That way I can rake a nice flat spot and remove all the rocks to set the tent up. Look at this pillow setup. I get a kick out of this thing. Check out how small it folds down into, and look how easy this is. One good puff, and we have a pillow. Red light still. Still a red light. Looks like we're gonna have a red light for a minute. Oh, look at that boy. Oh yeah, buddy. Okay, green light, green light, green light, go. Here we go, we're gonna jump this one. One more to roll. Roll, it's a big one. Launch it out there. It's as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so I'm gonna let you know what I'm gonna do with this fish here. I'm gonna take all the scales off with my knife. They're just gonna peel off real easy. See that? I'm gonna do the whole fish just like that. then I'm gonna gut them. I'm gonna keep the head and skin on, I'm gonna keep the bones in, and that's all gonna provide so much flavor into this delicious little fish. Coho in the springtime out of Lake Superior are by far my favorite eating fish in the entire Great Lakes, or freshwater for that matter. And we get to enjoy it here tonight over our campfire. Everything's pretty wet right now, although it's been a sunny day. There's been a lot of snow melt off lately, and there's been some rain as well, so. I'm gonna keep feeding the fire. That way we have a really nice hot bed of coals when we go to put our grate on later to start cooking our dinner. Well, I have all my food in this bag here, but for dinner tonight, we're gonna have fresh coho salmon, cheesy rice, and homemade biscuits. I'm gonna try to make some homemade biscuits out of flour, yeast, and sugar, and then bake them in tin foil. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we're gonna try. Who knows, with as clear as the sky is, we might even see the northern lights tonight. Okay, I'm gonna spread some coals around, then I'm gonna put the grate on, and we're gonna start baking our biscuits. We got a fish on this rod. This rod just got absolutely annihilated. There's a fish on, baby! We got a fish on, baby! Right at sunset here, guys. He's flying at me, he's flying at me. Look at that sunrise, baby. Right at sunset here, guys. And look at that, we have a head shaker. Here, oh, he might have came off. He might have came off. He just came off. I felt him come off. That was a nice fish too. That fish just slapped this rod. Well, on the positive side, that's some good encouragement, and I think we'll do well tomorrow morning. Right now, however, the south wind is starting to kick up, which means it's gonna be blowing all the dirty water and all the bait offshore. But I'm hoping that we'll have enough residual current from the big north wind that we've had the last few days to keep these fish in tight tomorrow morning. Okay, now with our fish, I'm just gonna gently score the sides of the meat. I'm gonna do 4 on each side, and this is just gonna help that flavor of the seasonings and the butter just seep down in that flaze. I just have some Morton sea salt, and I also have McCormick's garlic and herb seasoning. I'm gonna put a nice generous layer of each on each side of this fish and inside. Just spread it around, flip them over, do it on this side, and then we're gonna pack them with butter and wrap them up. I'm riding the struggle bus and drop my best biscuit in the fire. We'll pack that fish with some butter and wrap them up. Okay, our biscuits are done. Now we're going on with our fish. Oh yeah, look at that. Fresh coho salmon over an open fire, harvested out of this beautiful lake right behind me here. Well, this big root system sure has worked nice for a table. I have stuff hanging all over this thing. Right, buddy? He says, I'm ready for my salmon with my biscuit. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. First bite of our coho. That is just world class, man. Nothing special as far as the cooking goes. This fish is just premium, absolutely superb meat, and it's delicious. We're gonna get our rice going here, and then we're gonna feast. Okay, I'm just gonna set this on the log. I'm gonna wrap it up with another layer of tinfoil to keep it warm. Now check this out here, guys. Come with me on a little adventure here. We're gonna grab this pan, and we're gonna walk down and get some water. I gotta simmer some water for our rice. Somebody forgot their life straw bag, so we have to improvise. That just means before I go to bed, I'm gonna have to boil a big pot of water to drink. But look at this, the waves are still coming in. Okay, let's go simmer. Well, the only thing that we're cheating with here is our ready rice, cheese, risotto, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Not really sure, but this is what we're rolling with. We have some simmering water, our simmering Lake Superior water. We're gonna go in with the cheese rice. Our rice is done, fish is warming up, as well as the biscuit. I'm gonna put the rice on my plate here. Okay, now it's time for the fish. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. see if I can chop it in half. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at the head and all. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat his brains out. And last but not least, we're going on with our biscuit to cap off our dinner here on the shoreline of Lake Superior. Woo-hoo-hoo. Am I excited for this? I'm gonna shut my light off. Let's give it our first official taste test on the plate here. I'm gonna grab a piece of this coho. Look at that slab. I can't even explain how good that is. The meat is sweet and it has so much added flavor with the bones, the skin, and the head left on it. And tonight, we are eating like kings. Look at that. Well, it sure isn't the best biscuit I've ever had, but as hungry as I am, it tastes pretty good. And of course, you guys know the drill. We gotta cut them in every time. And last but not least, a big old bite of cheesy rice. And it slaps. Oh my gosh, rice coho combo. Yeah, look at that, skin and all. I even have a fin in there with some cheesy rice on top of my fork. That was one of the best bites of fish ever. That is all that's left of our coho. I ate that entire fish, picked it clean, and I have to say, we definitely wouldn't have needed 2 coho. But I would like to harvest a few to take back home for myself and for some friends and family to enjoy a fish dinner as well. But for tonight, one was perfect. Well, that meal was just spectacular. But before I can head in the tent and go get warm in my sleeping bag, I have to do a couple chores yet. I gotta boil a big pot of water so I have some drinking water, and I also have to make sure I have enough dry tinder ready to go. That way I can get a hot fire going as soon as possible in the morning, because we're gonna need it. Okay, our water has a nice boil to it. Gonna let that cool down, then pour it in our bottle. Yeah, our drinking water is boiled, but before I head into the tent, I'm gonna make a pack of hot cocoa to take in there with me and drink in my sleeping bag. It has been quite a while since I've had a good cup of hot chocolate. Look at those marshmallows in there. That is gonna hit the spot. Well, it sure is taking a while to cool down, but here we go. Getting our drinking water put together. Okay, well, it's time to get these waders off and get nestled in our cocoon for the night. Okay, come on, buddy. Well, Mr. Oliver is nice and cozy in his sleeping bag. Well, I tell you what, that cup of hot cocoa is just smacking right now. We're gonna get some sleep and we will see you guys first thing in the morning. I sure am excited to fish. I think we're gonna do well. Well, good morning and welcome back. Well, I still had some nice coals, so it's been pretty easy to get a good fire going. I buried them in the sand last night, and this thing started right up this morning for me. Good boy. Good morning, good boy. Well, the first thing I'm cooking this morning are some waders and wading boots. They are frozen solid, but look at this morning. The sun is starting to rise. It's an absolutely beautiful morning. Once I can get my waders on, I'm gonna go cast a couple lines out. And yes, I am in my socks. Well, my spawn bags are frozen solid. What they'll have to do, look at that sunrise. What a morning. There we go. Our baits are deployed. Here we go. Had to have a little switch up from the coffee all the time. So we are going with the hot cocoa once again. Hot cocoa for breakfast, hot cocoa for dessert, and I can't wait. This has been just a great switch up from having coffee all the time out here. A little hot cocoa topped with some golden retriever hair. The lines have been out for probably about, I'd say, an hour. And I'm a little surprised. I figured I'd have one going by now, but it is what it is. Guess we're just gonna see what happens. We have hot cocoa. It's a beautiful morning. I don't know what else more you can ask for. Damn, is that good. Well, it's time to get some breakfast going here. Well, for breakfast, I'm gonna have some oatmeal and a couple eggs. A couple ashes in there, but that is smelling mighty fine this morning. Peaches and cream oatmeal, baby. Hitting the spot.